Hi everyone, it's Intang Mayumi. I hope everybody is having a good day. I have a card for you using Kindred stamps. Learning is an adventure. I used two of the sentiments and two of the images from the stamp set except the A+. I mounted my images on a clear blocks and I'm going to ink them up using VersaFine Onyx Black ink, and the paper I'm using here is Strathmore 90-pound watercolor paper. I always use 90-pound watercolor paper when I know that I will fussy cut my images so the paper is not thick. I emboss my images using Wow Clear embossing powder, and then I'm going to melt all the powder using my heat tool. After I'm done embossing the images, we're gonna move on to coloring them. I use my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers to color the images. So for Miss Adventure, that's what I'm calling her. For her hair, I use scarlet red, orange, and bright yellow. For her skin, I use blush and pale pink. And then I added some pink on her cheeks, so she looks like she have a rosy cheeks. For her dress, I use cobalt blue, and for the images on her dress, I just use light gray. I also use cobalt blue on her shoes, and then yellow on the star on her shoes. And then her leggings, I use light blue color. For the color of the base, I use just yellow. So I didn't do any blending or like shadows or things like that. I don't color fancy, you know. I don't stress myself with these things because we're supposed to enjoy ourselves and not to stress out. So for the window of the base, I just used light gray and just blended it with water, and then light gray for the hood and lights and gray for the wheels. So I want my bus to have smiley face, so I use this Fawn Let's Roll stamp set, and I just use this one here. So I ink it up with VersaFine Onyx Black ink and didn't bother to emboss it. So I want my school bus to have flame booster, so I use this Hero Arts Winter Hearth stamp and cut. So I got this stamp set last year, so that's what I'm going to use for my flame booster. Before I mounted it on my clear block, I just cut it first because it's connected to the small flame. I'm going to ink up the flame using Barn Door Distress ink and Spice Marmalade Distress ink. I ink half of the flame using Barn Door and half of the flame using Spice Marmalade. So it has like orange and red flame. And then I fussy cut my images using my Fiskars Soft Touch scissor. I leave a little bit of a white border around my images. And these images are easy to fussy cut. After I fussy cut my images, I'm going to use this Lawn Fawn slide on over die, and this paper is from my friend Crafty BFF Cheryl Sabado, and I chose this space pattern right here. Using my Fiskars trimmer, I'm going to cut my paper at 5.5 by 4 1/4, and that will cover my A2 size top folding card base. Now I'm going to position this slide on over die on top of my panel, and I'm going to die cut this using my die cutting machine, and these are the pieces right now. And then now I'm going to tape them together using post-it tape and then flip it over. So while I was making this card, I am following a tutorial from Kelly of Lonfon because this is my first time using the slide on over die, and I don't want to make a mistake and redo my card again. I will leave her video link in my description down below so you can check it out. I used foam tape on the back of my panel, and as you can see, I put the penny right there to guide me so I don't put the foam tape close to it because the penny needs a room to move. And I double up my foam tape and also add foam tape in the middle of the circle. As you can see, I'm testing my penny right there and see if it will move freely. Now I'm going to remove all the adhesive backing and I'm going to adhere it on my card base. The best foam tape to use for this is the 3M foam tape, but I don't have that and I'm just using what I have right now. You can double it up before you use it on the back of the panel, and it's not gonna take you a long time like what I did on mine. Now I can remove the post-it tape and I can pop out the outer circle right there. I'm going to use liquid glue and adhere it right back in on the card. So now for the penny, I use a little foam tape, double it up, and slide it in the middle of the circle. I use my powder tool to help so the penny will move freely. And now it's time to add my school bus on the penny. And there it is. Yay! It's moving freely. For the inside of my card, I used my scraps of the pattern paper that I used in front of the card, and I'm using double-sided tape to adhere this in the inside of my card. And then I will use my scissor to cut the excess paper. And I'm also adhering Miss Adventure in the inside of my card using liquid glue. I use the sentiment that says, make today the day to learn something new. And I'm going to stamp that on a scraps of this blue shimmery cardstock that I have. And I'm going to ink up my sentiment using Versamark ink. And I'm going to emboss it with white embossing powder. And melt all the powder using my heat tool. I use the sentiment beautiful minds inspire others, and I'm going to use VersaFine Onyx Black ink to stamp that in the inside of my card. I'm now going to cut my sentiment that will go in front of my card using my Fiskars trimmer. And I will use double-sided tape to adhere it on my card front. As always, thank you so much for always watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it. So here is my card for today. I hope you liked today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.